So once again, welcome to all of you. Thank you for having patience and hanging along for the last 5 minutes. So we'll start with our second and last demo for this booth. So as I spoke about, it is Apigee, APIs on Apigee, a CI/CD pipeline built by the team, automated pipeline built by the team to build and deploy in the APIs, REST APIs onto Apigee. So I call upon Rajasi Balan, who will be doing the presentation. Rajasi, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Raghu. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Rajasi Balan. I lead the enterprise application and integration practice here at Mphasis. And we work along technologies across API management, microservices integrations. And this one is focused on the Apigee automation, as Raghu mentioned, and showing how a DevOps CI/CD pipeline has helped um, our teams and our customers to adopt an Apigee enterprise platform to bring in their multiple product lines, right? So this is the agenda. Very briefly, we'll quickly see how what all aspects of Apigee we typically cover for our various customers, and then we will go on to see what an end-to-end DevOps automation process looks like for Apigee, followed by a demo, and then we'll take up any Q&As. Right. Over to this. So this is just to summarize what our Apigee expertise is all about, right? And I'll go quickly over these various stages of how a typical journey for a customer looks like when they're adopting an API platform, more so in the Apigee context here. Okay. So we start off with defining our Apigee target architecture and topology. So we are partnered with Apigee, so we work with their in architects as well. And what we do is define the target topology based on whether there is an on-premise installation or there is a cloud-hosted solution that that we want to adopt. And these topologies, address the needs for your what is the the integrations, how is the the services, underlying services, what's the kind of architecture there, also taking into consideration all the RTOs, your HA failover requirements. Right. So once this architecture is defined, we go on to installing and configuring Apigee. More so when it's an on-premise installation, right? When it's on a cloud hosted, that this aspect is less managed by us. But it's an on-premise, we want to ensure that we have a lower environment set up first, then we build in automation there to create a Ansible playbook so that your further environments can be spawned easily. And believe me, these configurations are like setting up your security, setting up the networking layers and so on, right? So certain aspects of these are all can be automated, right? Um, so going over to the next ones, okay, you have now set up the Apigee platform. Now you want to bring in your product lines onto this platform. So you're going to, create, have your underlying services getting exposed as proxies, and this is where we've seen what happens is once the platform is in place, we need a team of Apigee experts to be around to support this platform in bringing up multiple product lines onto this platform. And there is a lot of configurations to be done, testing to be done, ensuring that your APIs are adhering to certain standards, banking standards, in case in case of customers like FRB. So all of these things, there is a quite of a manual process that we observed, and this is where we bring in a set of automation for building the whole. For creating the whole CI/CD pipeline, and then once you have your product lines in place, there is the governance, the operationalization of the platform. So for today's discussion, we are focusing here on this aspect, on this tower, which is the proxy end-to-end automation, right? Um, and Going ahead, so just reiterating, we have various automation to be done. We have automated provisioning, policies that you can do, and API access provisioning, testing, all of these, and we are considering this in our DevOps pipeline, right? Uh, so if I really go and see what looks like a good DevOps pipeline, which covers all the aspects of that, the third tower that we saw is this, okay, what you see here on the screen. So let's look at what really happens in this while when your platform is in place and you are building APIs. What really happens? So step one is your services are getting built. You have and believe me, there could be multiple product lines, I say, or LOBs, building services, and we want to have them all on the enterprise platform. So your service getting checked into a repository like a Bitbucket or a GitHub triggers certain Jenkins jobs here. So we have, as soon as the service is checked in, we have this Ansible playbooks creating the first step on the Apigee, which is building a proxy. So this is just creating an endpoint for your service. And when I say creating an endpoint, there are certain policies that you may set with this proxy. You may set up authentication using OAuth tokens. You may set up certain transformations if there is an underlying SOAP service. So you may want to do JSON to XML transformation, and those kind of things are set in a proxy, right? And excuse me, and this is done through the Ansible playbook itself. So first step is on Apigee creating the proxy. And then second step is, if you know Apigee, it works on products. It works on API products where you bundle various proxies and offer them as a API product line for your developers, for your partners, vendors to consume. Right? Your typical product line could be, my payment products, my lending products, right? So these could be various APIs under this product created. So we bundle up the proxies through the pipeline. Then there is also what you see is an app created. So in this whole pipeline, we want to test how we want to actually experience the end user journey, right? So how they would consume this API is through an app. So we also create a test app. We create an access token for this API, and then do an automated testing. This is the crucial step here, because now you're going to do a testing using something like SOAP UI or Postman, where you're hitting the URL from the external source, right? Like your consumers of the APIs would do. And it would test all your policies that you've set in your proxy, whether there are certain whitelisting, backlisting policies, OAuth tokenization, and so on, right? So this is your proxy testing. Your proxy works fine. Now it's checked. This step 6 here is now checking in that code into GitHub or your Bitbucket, so whatever is the source repository. Your proxies are also source code managed, right? And then you do certain analysis on this proxy, which is tested. We do static code analysis, and you see this pipeline is having, Apigee supported tool. So Apigee provides Apigee Lin for static code analysis, but you may have any other code analysis tool that can be fit into this pipeline, because these are all, at the end of the day, your Ansible playbooks. So they can plug in with the existing tool set. We have then, you've done static code analysis, you can do code coverage and reports. So what parts of the proxy are actually, what parts of your service are actually getting invoked. That code coverage can be done using tools like Istanbul and Kopachura. And then we also have, Apigee. Then once your proxy is verified, it is promoted to the higher environments. It's ready to promote, right? So Apigee by default has test and production environment. You can spawn any other environments in between and start promoting your proxy from your test environment to the higher ones. That's your Apigee production environment. And then you may have a developer portal, which is where you are exposing your APIs to the outside world, creating a marketplace, having your documentation, Swagger documentation, open API specs, getting available, making them available for your consumers. So that's the next step where you can have that developer portal. Uh, Once that is done, we also do integration testing. So now we've done an API proxy testing initially. We also do an end-to-end integration testing using tools like Apigee, or which is based on Gherkin or Cucumber kind of framework. So it's doing an end-to-end testing here for you. It can also be done in the lower environments. We have shown it here in the higher environments. And the last step, obviously, is not automated, but there is a way in which you can undeploy your APIs. And why one would like to do that is you may have various versions of your APIs now coming into picture. So you want to retire your older version APIs. So that's the step which is also possible through Ansible playbooks. Right? And as a part of the demo, we've covered steps till deploying to the production environment. We have not shown here the developer portal and the integration testing, but that's something we have in place for the integration testing. It's not done as a part of the demo, but so we will promote it till the production environment. Okay. I'll go over to the demo now, where you see this is my Ansible, Apigee Ansible pipeline. There are certain stages which are similar to the one we've seen in the presentation, right? What I'll do is we have, this is my source repository, we have a simple user profile service, which is like my REST service, right? Just getting a set of user profiles. There's certain Jenkins jobs, and there's an Ansible playbook here. To automate the pipeline, and to trigger the pipeline, let us go in and edit this file just to trigger it. I'm committing this file. This should trigger my pipeline here. The pipeline's triggered. It's starting to check out the service, deployed it on Tomcat, and now it started to build the proxy, the Apigee proxy with certain policies. We'll go over and see later what policies are built as a part of this pipeline. Well, your API proxy is done, so now it's getting bundled up as a product. So you have the Apigee product created. Now you create a test application to test the proxy. We create one more version of the proxy with an OAuth token. So we want to test both a standard access to your proxy as well as a secured access to your proxy, right? And this is where now the testing process triggers in. It is using SOAP UI to do the testing. Now, since it's passed the testing, is exporting the proxy, checking it into the source code again, checking in the source code into the repository again, doing a static code analysis, and now everything's looking fine, so it's promoted into production. A very simple pipeline right now with a single service takes under 1 minute. And if you go and see what's happened onto the Apigee, so this is my Apigee management pipeline, right? It has, we'll first go and see what proxies are created. So you see it has created two versions of my proxy. One is a normal without OAuth and one is with the OAuth. All right. And you see there are environments in test and in production. So let's go and test and see what is done here. So this is a typical Apigee management UI, just to inform people who are not aware of this UI. So in absence of this pipeline, right, what would happen is your team has to come in here, build proxies for each and every service that needs to be exposed. It needs to come in here, set up policies. There could be certain templates you define, but they will have to set these policies and expose that proxy. So you see there is certain policies we have defined here. There is a pre-flow, post-flow processing done for the OAuth tokenization. There is also the OAuth version of it. So we have certain, form parameters defined. You are verifying the access token, and also doing. We also try to create a mock JSON to XML policy here, because now maybe underneath it's a SOAP service you are exposing, so you want this translation to happen here, right? So you see these are the policies that got set by default through our pipeline, because what we've done is there is a template in which we define what policies we want to set on the proxy and what is the processing we want to do. If that template is, and we have a predefined template for that, and it's picked up from this for the user profile service. If I go back and see, because the first step was in creating the proxy. Now, creating the second step was building the product. So I have a payment product here that would have created. Yeah, it's created through the pipeline. And what it has is both, the proxy versions in it. It's just bundled them up for the access, right? And, there is also an app. So that's registered here. So this app comes from the developer programs it's from the apps that are created. These are your testing apps that get registered, and we created this app through the pipeline for our testing purpose. So what this app really has is, you need to, in a normal world, you have to register apps for granting access to your services for testing, right? You will be creating, if it's an OAuth-based proxy, you will be generating this secret keys and, doing. So we have all of this right now generated through the pipeline. And this app was used for testing this end-to-end pipeline. Okay, so this was these are the things that are right now created as a part of the DevOps pipeline. If we go back here, so we have built it till the production level, right? So a quick short demo on this that we saw, and I'm here to take up any more Q&As, any discussions we want to do, because this is more like an open discussion I would like to have.
Saurabh here. We do have a question from Ganeshan. Uh, Does it work only for APG? If this needs to be addressed for any other API manager, what would be required?
Good question. Yes. So we have this demo created for Apigee because this is where it all started for us, right? And as we speak right now, we are using this same pipeline for AWS API gateway as well for one of our other customers. So you see, this is all driven through Ansible playbooks, and so you can modify those playbooks to tailor, customize, and adhere to the tool stack that is typically there in an environment. So we've also done if you see here previously, we have these set of tools that are because we just took it for the demo purpose, the complete Apigee pipeline. So using Apigee supported tools for static code analysis, your for proxy testing, this UI. But these can all be changed. You can have, in some place you're using your own framework for testing, then we can integrate it with the Ansible playbook. Similarly for the static code analysis or even for the integration testing. So all driven through the playbooks.
Right. Thank you, Rajeshi. So we will probably give one more minute for any questions. And as you all know, you can always feed more questions, pick up any one of us. I represent deposit technology. Feel free to, since I represent the integration booth, feel free to reach out to me for any questions, anything you have got, so I can reach out to our internal folks like Rajeshi to give you the right reply. Or if you need a more detailed demo of this, we can definitely arrange, and we can have more sessions for deposits or any other group to take it forward on how we can start implementing what more we need, and all those things we can take up. So if we don't have any more questions, I would like to thank each one of you for attending the session. It was great to have you all. I want to thank all the presenters and the support staff who helped us do this. Thank you very much, folks. Importantly, this was one event which we wanted to do for FRB, and hope you were all happy to see this, and we can do more of these. Post this, we are taking a short break, and at 4:30 we are opening up the networking lounges. So feel free to walk over to the networking lounges. There it is separated according to different LOBs. Feel free to mingle and see what's happening there. Briefly, what we want to do, we're going to show some videos, some of the videos how offshore is coping up with pandemic, how they are working, and a short quiz. And then we'll have, especially in the deposits, we are showcasing some of our offshore, trying to showcase offshore's talent and other things beyond work. This is nothing related to work. So this is a good platform to interact, know more about us, and kick back and relax and enjoy. So thank you very much, folks, and have a wonderful day. Good evening and good night.
Thank you. Thanks for attending.
Thank you.